Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to your mat. Today's practice is a wake up vinyasa flow meant to help you get some energy flowing into your body, but also loosen up any kinks that may have developed during your night's sleep. So this is going to be a short, gentle, but also invigorating practice meant to help you wake up and start your day off on the right foot. For this class, you may want to have a block and possibly a blanket for optional props. We're going to begin this class in child's pose. So go ahead and come down onto your knees, taking the knees wide and the big toes together. Shift the hips back towards the heels and walk the arms forward, bringing your forehead down to the mat. If the forehead doesn't reach the mat comfortably, you can place a block underneath your forehead to elevate the head. Also, if your hips do not comfortably reach your heels, or if you have limited range of motion in your knees, then grab a rolled up blanket and place the blanket in between your thighs and calves, and then sit the hips back on the blanket. That will lessen the range of motion in the knees and take some of the pressure off the knee joint. Take some slow breaths here as you allow your mind to wake up. If it's first thing in the morning for you, just take some time to maybe greet yourself, to show yourself a little kindness. Maybe speak some affirmations to yourself to begin your day. This is a great opportunity for you to repeat your identity statements to yourself, whatever those are. I am becoming a more present, focused, mindful leader. I am becoming a better version of myself. I am on my journey. Whatever your affirmations or identity statements are, just take some time to reflect and meditate on them here in this child's pose. While you reflect, begin to deepen the breath, filling up the chest and belly more full of breath, exhaling completely. Enjoy 2 to 3 more rounds of breath here. And then on your inhale, slowly press up onto hands and knees, bringing knees underneath your hips, removing any props out of your way for now, unless you need a blanket under your knees for support. We'll come into cat-cow. You know the drill. Inhale, lift the sit bones, arching through the spine. Take the gaze forward towards the top of your mat. Exhale, rippling through the spine from tailbone to crown of head to come into this rounded cat shape. Inhale, lift the tailbone, start to tilt the pelvis forward as you arch through the spine, looking forward. And exhale, round, round, round. Press the floor away, spread the shoulder blades. Take a few rounds of cat-cow at your own pace, really allowing yourself to work gently into the spine. Maybe finding some intuitive movement here, some swaying, maybe some hip circles, maybe some undulations of the body. Whatever feels good. Allow yourself an opportunity to get curious and explore some movement here. Not every yoga class has to be linear. Not every yoga class has to be exactly as the teacher prescribed it, but allow yourself to explore a little bit. Find what feels good in your body. And then make your way back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to take your right shin to the right. So you're going to bring your right foot off the mat, extend the left leg long, coming onto the bottom of the foot, rolling onto the right arm, coming into a modified half moon shape. You can reach the left arm towards the ceiling, lengthening through your left side body. If you need some more height, take your hand up onto a block to elevate the shoulders a little bit higher. And then just breathe into whatever sensation you're feeling here. Allow this to feel really good. So make any adjustments you need to make sure that this feels good. Again, you can play with the positioning here, maybe playing with the position of your arm. And then exhale to bring the left hand back down, bring the left leg in, reset yourself in tabletop, and then we'll come to the other side. So swing the left shin around, extend the right leg long. You can bring the left hand onto a block or onto the mat. Inhale, rotate your right shoulder open to stack over the left, reaching through the fingertips. Again, get curious about what feels good here. Maybe getting curious about what it would be like to reach the arm up and overhead, or to reach the arm back behind you. There's no right or wrong. There's just exploration. And then on your exhale, bring the right hand back down. Reset yourself in tabletop. You can move the block off to the side. We're coming into downward facing dog, so take the hands about shoulders distance apart, spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes under, shift the hips back as you lift the knees up. Put a bend in the knees here at the beginning of your practice. Allow your hamstrings an opportunity to warm up. So not forcing them straight into straight legs unless that's firmly in your practice. Press the floor away, spiraling the upper arms to the left and right of the room, hugging the top of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Again, you can play with the hips here, maybe swaying the hips from side to side, finding some curiosity, some exploration of movement. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk the feet towards the hands. So coming into a standing forward fold, feet hips distance, let the spine hang. Head hangs heavy, spine is long. You can grab opposite elbows, maybe swaying side to side if it feels good. Or you can always find stillness in center. On your next inhale, slowly press through the feet, root to rise as you ragdoll roll up to standing nice and slow, no rush, to come all the way up to mountain pose. Come to the top of your mat. We're going to take an easy sun salutation A. So inhale the arms forward and up, reach up. On your exhale, swan dive forward into your forward fold, bending the knees, letting the spine hang. Inhale to a flat back, so bring hands to shins, lengthen the heart forward, lengthen the back of your neck, send the tailbone back, and then exhale to fold back over the legs, bending the knees once more. Plant the hands down on the mat as you step the feet back one, and then the other to come to plank pose. We're gonna hold plank for 5 breaths. Shoulders over wrists. Come onto forearm plank if you have wrist pain. Press the floor away. Spread the shoulder blades, broaden through the chest. Squeeze the quads. Lift the kneecaps towards your hips for 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees down to the mat. Modified chaturanga. Hug the elbows in as you slowly bring the body all the way down to the mat. And then peel the chest up as you press the tops of the feet, tops of the thighs down to come into a cobra or baby cobra variation. Exhale to bring the body back down. Inhale to press to tabletop, tuck the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment for curiosity. Take a moment for exploration. There's no right or wrong. There's just playfulness, exploring the pose, trying new things, seeing if they feel good. And if they don't feel good, then don't do them. Find stillness in your downward facing dog. You can transition through tabletop, or you can bring that right knee in towards the chest, hugging the right thigh in as you stack shoulders over wrists and step that right foot through in between the hands. Lower the left knee down onto the mat. Inhale to walk the hands up, and then I invite you to open up the chest here in this low lunge. So bend the elbows, take the chest and shoulders back as you open up through the arms, maybe lifting the gaze slightly, feeling an openness, a receptivity, if that feels good for you to have today. Opening yourself up to the possibilities of the day, opening yourself up to opportunities for choice, for leadership, for connection, and for some self-love. And then exhale to bring the hands down to the mat. We're going to lift the left knee up off the mat by tucking the left toes under, plant the hands, step the right foot back to come to plank, and then lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bringing that left knee in as you bring shoulders over wrists. Find that plank pose with the thigh hugged in, and then step the left foot through in between the hands. Lower the right knee down to the mat. Walk the hands up onto the thigh. Again, inhale to open up. This time, if you'd like, you can take the hands behind the low back, interlacing the fingers, reach the fist down towards the floor. Breathe. Take an opportunity to just reflect on what's coming up for you right now in this moment, what sensations you're feeling in your body, what thoughts may be arising in your head. And then release the hands down to the floor. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, step the left foot back, plank pose, and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet or find movement or hold stillness, whatever feels right for you today. On your next inhale, bring the shoulders forward once more, stacking shoulders over wrist. Option to do forearm. We're coming into a side plank. So we're going to roll onto the right hand, onto the pinky toe side of the right foot, lifting the left arm high to the sky, press the floor away. Option, lower the right knee down to the mat for a modified side plank. Another option, come down onto your forearm. Either full forearm plank or modified forearm plank with the knee down. And then slowly bring it back to center, resetting yourself in plank once more if you need to. And then let's take it to the other side, rolling onto the left hand, pinky toe side of the left toe, reaching the right arm high, or taking right hand to right hip. Take whatever modification you need to be able to sustain this pose for 3 more breaths. Press the floor away, active shoulder here. Lift that right hip up towards the sky and slowly bring it back to plank pose. Lower the knees down to the mat. Take yourself a second, child's pose. Knees wide, knees together. Using props or no props. Observe how this child's pose may feel different from your first child's pose. And they may feel exactly the same, and that's fine. But if they feel different, notice what feels different about them. Do you feel more warm? Do you feel more open? Do you feel more loose? No right or wrong, just what is. On your next inhale, slowly press up to tabletop position. Let's flip on over to your back, so crossing the ankles to transition onto your seat, and then all the way down onto your back. Bring your heels in close to your seat. Take your arms down along your sides, elbows straight or elbows bent. I like my palms to face in towards each other like robot arms. And then we're going to come into bridge pose. So on your inhale, press into your heels, lift the hips high towards the sky. Hug the knees to stay in line with the hips. So make sure your knees aren't like collapsing out to the side, but you're hugging them in like there was an invisible block between your legs. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Take the feet as wide as your mat, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then we're going to put an actual block in between your legs for this next round. So grab your yoga block, place it in between the thighs, in between the knees, squeeze it between your knees. Long spine on the ground. Inhale, press the heels down. Exhale, lift the hips up. Squeeze the block between your thighs, between your knees. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Good. Take the feet as wide as your mat. Hold on to the block. We're going to use it in just a second. Windshield wiper the knees once more. Taking things at your own pace. The next thing we're going to do is a supported variation of bridge. So bring your feet back in line with your hips. Lift the hips up and slide the block under your hips. Block is on the lowest height setting. So you want the block to be right underneath your sacrum, which is that triangular bone that fits in between your 2 pelvic bones. Make any adjustments to make sure you're comfy. And then you're just going to relax here for a moment in this supported bridge. If this doesn't feel good, take the block out. No worries. If you want more of a stretch, you can bring the block onto the second height setting, or you can extend the legs down towards the bottom of your mat, and that'll give you a little bit more of a hip flexor stretch. So choose the option that's right for you today. And then just breathe. Bend the knees once more if you have them straight. Press the feet into the ground as you lift the hips up. Extract the block from under you. One more round of windshield wipers. Feet as wide as your mat. Swaying the knees from side to side. Notice what feels good. Notice where there may still be tension. Just observing, noticing. If your body's craving any other movement, you can take an opportunity for that movement. Maybe it's knees into chest, maybe it's happy baby. We're going to move on to reclined bound angle pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, spine is long down on the ground. Take the left hand over your belly and the right hand over the center of your chest. If you're feeling tension or like unsupported in this pose, you can always use your blanket or your blocks to just wedge under your thighs, to wedge under your knees, whatever props you have available. If you need some support underneath your legs, create that support for yourself and then come back into the pose. So one hand over the chest, one hand over the navel. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out the nose or mouth. Start to relax the body. Relax the face, soften the jaw. Relax your belly. Relax your low back. Soften through your legs and inner thighs best you can. And then just take this time to tune in and listen. Notice what your body is saying to you. Observe what your mind is saying, what thoughts are coming up. Without any judgment or attachment, just simple observation. We'll finish our practice here, so feel free to stay here as long as you like. But if you're ready to move on with your day, use your hands on the outsides of your legs to slowly bring the knees together and roll to one side to come into the fetal position. When you're ready to come out of this pose, simply press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Take just a moment to observe, to notice how this practice went for you. Notice how you feel. How does your energy feel? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? And then when you're ready, moving on with your day. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.